when the Eben craft crashed at Roswell, they found it. They had an energy device in there. And we knew that energy device because we still have that energy device. But the Eben 1 told us there was a communications device in the craft. This should be in a file of a DIA headquarters. How did you get it? He said, I can't answer that question. He said, and if you turn me over to the feds, those documents won't be here. I said, I'm not going to turn you over to the feds. I said, is this still classified? He said, I don't know. And I don't really care. I want it out in the public.
So what was the most powerful thing you read in that document over that 35 minutes? What really shocked you the most, besides you not knowing about it?
Well, what shocked me was how they selected the astronauts.
How did they?
Well, they selected, it took them months and months and months, but they got people they had to get specialists.
Right.
The doctors and other specialists. But they went out and found people within the military that were orphans and didn't have any family members and weren't married. Now, that's a difficult task, even in 1960, and this is when this was occurring. But they found him. They found, I think, 100 or so, and they narrowed it down. Right. They put these astronauts through an enormous amount of training. In reading and then listening to a tape recording later of all the training they went through, Special Forces SEALs wouldn't even gone through this kind of stuff. But they had to prepare them for a journey from Earth 39 light years away to a foreign planet. How do you prepare somebody for that?
Right.
Well, they tried it and they did it. They according to them, they did it. And the communications device could help him notify his home planet to come get him, come help me out. And so over a period of about 10 years, it took the U.S. government to create and manufacture communication system that could send signals to this Serpil, which was the name of the planet the U.S. government named in Zeta Reticuli star system, some 39.5 light years away. And we did it. We notified him, and there was a project to learn the Eben language. Now, Eben 1 started us on that. It was a very difficult language because it was tones. It was a very difficult language to learn, but he wrote down his alphabet. So we at least had his alphabet, all the symbols in his alphabet. But we, as a pretty intelligent group of people, figured it out. And we were able to communicate with the other planet. Now, this is what this colonel is telling me. Now, in October of 2005, Victor Martinez, he had an email stream that he used for a number of years, a number of people on that stream. He contacted me and he said, I have this guy that's contacted me and said he was with DIA and he wanted to start releasing information about a Project Crystal Night. Do you know anything about it, Rick? And I said, you know what, Victor, I do know something about it, but I don't know if it's real or if it's some kind of military project that had happened, an exercise, or I could think of a lot of different things.
Right.
And he said, no, I know it's real because I've seen some evidence of it. I said, what kind of evidence did you see? I saw pictures of the planet. I said, you saw pictures of what planet? He said, Serpil. I said, who showed them to you? He said, this person that I want to introduce you to. So I flew out I was still working for Austin, Texas, and I flew out to California, Oceanside, met with Victor, and then I met with this former DI official named Joseph Yeager. Joseph knew me. I didn't know him. He knew of me. He knew my time in OSI and in U.S. intelligence. He had worked for DIA. He was out of the we call it the no hat office in the UFO desk in DIA. And we call it no hat because their heads are so big, their hats wouldn't fit. It was a joke. But anyways, he said, are you ready for this, me to hear about this project? And I said, well, is it for real? He said, yeah, it's for real. I said, well, you got any documents to prove it? He says, come to my house. And we were at a hotel meeting in Oceanside, California.
Right.
So we went to his house. He lived in a really, really nice house. He had a cellar, and there's not too many places that have cellars anymore, but he had a cellar in his house in California. And we went in there, and he had these safes along the wall, probably, I don't know, a dozen safes. And they were all GSA approved safes. So they were GSA safes. And having worked in the government, you know how secure they are.
Yes.
He opened one up, brought a document over to me, laid it down. It was an Air Force OSI document. I looked at that document, and of course I recognized it, being I had been in the OSI. He said, read that. And it was a real thick document. So I spent the next probably 30, 35 minutes going through this document. I said, holy cow. I spent all those years in OSI, and I never heard about this. So I said, so it's for real? He said, it's absolutely for real. Then he started pulling out other things and showing us, showing me and Victor. And I said, well, why do you have it here? I mean,